Oh. Okay. My blush is very pink and very patchy. That's okay. Is it? Oh, first of all, hi. My name is Izzy. Welcome back to my channel. How are we doing? I'll be honest, transparency. I've been having a weird time for my focus. My focus is in a lot of different places. There's a lot of energy going a lot of different places. And so I've been having trouble focusing. I thought I'd just sit down, hang out, talk with you, and just update you on what's been going on in my head. I thought we'd just chill because it's been a while since I've actually spoken to you. Dogs are barking. Sorry. Hi. Okay, I'm so my focus is just so all over the place. I just have so much creative energy flowing, which is amazing. But that means that I'm also like a hummingbird flitting from thing to thing. So the vibe of this past week has been crazy. I thought we'd just hang out like we always do, because we always hang out on this channel. So anyway, if you're new here, welcome. What brings you here? My wisdom teeth? What is it? What brought you here? Whatever it is, I'm happy to have you. Please go ahead and subscribe if you wanna keep hanging out. Okay, so anyway, what's wild is that I've been recovering for 2 weeks. I did not realize, I thought, oh, I'm just gonna get my wisdom teeth out, then I'll be on my way. It was not that at all. Wisdom tooth surgery literally had me down for the count. It had me down for the count because not only, so what happened, okay, actually, let me just talk you through this whole thing. Again, I'm all over the place. I got my wisdom teeth out, right? The rest of them were fine to take out, but one of the teeth was impacted. And so I was having a tough time. And so it took me about a week to recover, probably around 9 days, 10 days to fully be okay again at that point. But then I have braces and I have a rubber band on my there's just so much happening in my mouth. Okay, so basically I have a rubber band on 3 of the teeth. It's one rubber band doing a little triangle thing, and so that's a lot of tension. And so then I had to put that rubber band back in, and so that added 2 more days to my recovery. My teeth, my jaw was super sore because my teeth had to get used to wearing the rubber band again. I did not ask my orthodontist nor my surgeon if I should wear the rubber band during recovery. I just assumed not to, and I probably should have. I have no answers. And then I got my vaccine. But then it made me sick. The symptoms whenever you get a vaccine, you can experience symptoms, right? And so I felt feverish, sore, and tender, and achy. And so that brings us to today when I'm finally feeling good. If you follow me on my writing, my journaling Instagram, where I have been, at least for the past 12 days, I've been writing something daily. I've been doing a daily journal post, kind of. If you follow me, you'll kind of know what's been going on in my head. I feel like having that physical reset where I literally was just in bed. I was in bed, I would get dizzy if I stood up. Body just felt so fatigued because it was trying so hard to heal itself. Put me into a thinking little nest. It put me into a nest where I just sat there and thought and read and got to really have a conversation with myself and rest in a way that I haven't rested in a long time. I love to lie down. Lying down is a thing that I love to do. And usually if I'm lying down and resting, I would be emotionally exhausted, coming from a place of not wanting to engage my mind anymore. But this lying down, the surgery recovery, was a physical exhaustion. And so my mind was very active and very energetic and wanted to engage with so many things, but I just felt physically groggy. And so I thought that distinction was really interesting. I feel like physically recovering gave me a kind of physical stillness that allowed my mind to really roam. But now it's 2 weeks out, over 2 weeks out from my surgery, and I'm totally fine. I'm just flushing out the sockets with the little syringe that they give you and brushing my teeth a bunch. My teeth have adjusted to my rubber band once again. Ortho appointment in 2 weeks. Things are happening and I'm feeling okay again. I just feel after being in bed for so long and just feeling like I've been in this in-between state of pain and grogginess and functioning, I feel like now I have a lot of energy in a lot of different places and I just want to go, And so that's been happening. So look forward to that if you are recovering from wisdom tooth surgery. And so with lying in bed, of course, I started writing daily on Instagram. My relationship with social media is so, if you told me 4 months ago, like, hey, you're gonna post on Instagram every day and you're gonna be frankly pretty vulnerable and you're gonna write something pretty substantive every single day for at least 2 weeks, I would be like, no, what? Would I do that? That's something I would do when I was younger, but is that something that I would do currently? Turns out yes. Mainly stuff centered around new things and new connections that I make regarding astrology, because I've been studying astrology more intently lately, which is very, very exciting, and I will talk about that so soon. I just want to be confident enough to be able to talk about it on my channel and to like know fairly enough things. I just want to say everything right, so I'll talk about that soon in the future. But so every time I just like make a new connection in my life, like regarding my chart, or if a new recent transit happens and I can feel the effects like resonating in my daily life, I will usually write about it on Instagram and like a little post. And even if I don't necessarily relate to astrology, because I have been writing about things that are not astrological, I like that I'm able to lie down, set out to like make a connection or think about something that resonates and really put meaning into my day. And I get to write about it and then share it with people, and like sometimes it resonates in others and it makes me feel really warm. I feel very connected and embodied whenever I feel like something that resonates in me is heard in someone else or felt in someone else. I talked to my friend about this earlier today during our weekly FaceTime. We were both people who love to journal, and when we journaled, it was like throughout high school, throughout maybe the beginning of college. When we journaled, we recorded every single thing that happened to us, right? We'd process everything in real time, super in-depth. Like I used to journal so intently, and there's a 2 to 3 year period of time where I just stopped journaling because I was sick of it. I was sick of processing. I didn't like what was happening in my day-to-day. I just like fell out of the practice because I was like, whatever. And this is super reflected in my blog. The way Brenna expressed it was that you get to slow down time and interact with time more when you journal and when you write and document your life. When things are not so good, you don't want that. You want time to go faster. You don't want to interface with time. You don't want to slow anything down. You just kind of want it to be over with. And that was definitely the case for a long time. But with this new writing practice now, where it's basically micro-blogging, I don't know if that's a term. A mini blog post, journal entry? I don't know, public journal? And I don't know what the word is, but with this new thing I've been doing, it gives me the power to choose how I remember a day. If I had a bad day, or if I had a day that wasn't the most like I didn't really like that day, or if I wasn't satisfied with how the day went, I get to lie down in the evening and think about, okay, well, what made today not so great? What did I learn from today? What resonated? What was the string from throughout my life that was plucked today that I should probably think about and that I could write about? It gives me a kind of discipline and structure into the way that I reflect, whether I want to write something really substantive and make like this large connection to something that I'm studying, or if I just want to gush about something that I love that I realized that day. I've been really enjoying this style of journaling. I feel like I also like that I get to share with others. Of course, there's a sense of wanting to keep it for myself, and there is of course a sense of like, should I share this with other people? This is kind of, I don't know if I should. Like there's always that sense of hesitation, but reframing a journal entry for it to be shared with other people, and this is something that I love about blogging. Getting to reframe your thoughts to be read by other people adds a layer of processing that kind of resembles how you would share something with like a younger sibling. When I'm journaling for myself, there's a sense of like I'm only gonna be the one to read this. It can get pretty like cynical, pessimistic, first kind of emotions about something, and then that's the only documentation I have of that thing. But I like being able to add the second layer of processing that's required to present an experience or a thought. I like being able to add that extra layer of meaning, because that allows me to be more gentle with myself, because I would never lambast myself in front of, if I had a baby sister, I would not do that but like in front of my baby sister, you know? And so like I want to be able to present myself to her, and I think that's actually a form of inner child work. Like I feel like being able to journal in a way that is kind of like being an older sibling, or like being a parent to myself in a way, secondarily processing my emotions to be presented as I would to a child. Like I feel like that's a form of reparenting and inner child work that I actually had never thought of. I'm kind of being more gentle, extra gentle and taking extra care to process the things that I'm thinking about. And I think that's very much so honoring and nurturing my inner child. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. So, okay. Next topic. Some things that have been aiding me in my thinking are these books that were not put here on purpose but are within arm's reach, so that is great. I have a book haul. Hold on. I have somewhat of a book haul here. Oh wait, I have one more. Okay, something that's been aiding me in all of my thinking is I have a mini book haul here. My mind was roaming and I just wanted more things for it to roam into, right? So first of all is this book. There's this book called Set Boundaries, Find Peace, a Guide to Reclaiming Yourself by Nedra tawwab. The author is a therapist that I follow on Instagram, and she posts really incredible content. Her expertise is in boundary setting and everything about boundaries. All problems are just boundary issues. This feels like a textbook, like a manual of like how to set boundaries and work with your boundaries. I'm not super far into it, but I've been learning a lot more about myself and about patterns that I've fallen into, patterns that I want to break, new practices that I want to create regarding boundaries with myself, my family, my friends, co-workers. If I had this book in college, oh my god, that would have been crazy. If I had this book in college, things would have been smoother. A Guide to Reclaiming Yourself, absolutely. So that book. Next book. Chani Nicholas single-handedly got me into astrology. Chani Nicholas is like, she's like the mom, a light. She's the one that created the Chani app that I talked about in my January favorites video, and it has been a portal into learning more about astrology. And so I got her book, You Were Born for This, Astrology for Radical Self-Acceptance. Her astrology has absolutely been the key tool in accepting myself and trusting myself and building a kinder relationship with myself. I will talk about it even further in the future, but I finally got it. I'm really excited about it. It like breaks down your sun, moon, and your ascendant, and it talks about where in your chart it is. It talks about what sign it's in. But great gateway book, I will say. Oh my goodness. Okay, and then in accompanying that, I got this Astrology, A Cosmic Science. I forgot who on Instagram recommended this, but I think it's beautiful and it seems like a good starter. Oh wow, people are barking. It goes through a lot of the ABCs of astrology, which is all of the foundations. It also marries it to spirituality in terms of karma and reincarnation. So it's really interesting. It talks about this higher self, the eternal self versus the personality, and like it just makes so many like freaking connections between a lot of different things, and I have been devouring this. It's like a textbook, but also like the language is super accessible and it's a great text for beginners. So I'll keep you updated on how it goes. This is a gift from my dad. This is called Constellations by David White. Constellations, the soulless nourishment and underlying meaning of everyday words. And I like this book because it basically takes a word and then David White writes up a way of interpreting it, like just makes an interpretation of that word from like a certain perspective. And so there's a lot of words like confession, denial, despair, like robustness, procrastination, words. And I love this because it derives meaning from the mundane, which is one of my favorite things to do. My dogs are barking so much, so if you hear them barking, I am so sorry. Each word is just a portal into self-reflection, and we know that I love self-reflection and I love words as well. Also, fun fact, the publisher's logo is also the same as the BTS logo. So okay, anyway, another book, The Four Agreements, very popular read, super popular, recommended by many people. It's a Toltec wisdom book by Don Miguel Ruiz. I just started reading it, A Practical Guide to Personal Freedom. Four agreements are: be impeccable with your word, don't take anything personally, don't make assumptions, always do your best. I bought this book used, so there's a lot of dog-eared pages, a lot of underlining, and so I'm excited, as always, to dive in. Okay, and then the last one that I got, borrowing this from my boyfriend, it was a text from one of his classes, and it's a lecture by Edward Said called Representations of the Intellectual. The BBC used to have like lectures that would span over a course of weeks and like build into their programming, where an academic would come on, or like a professional, an intellectual would come on and give a lecture to the public through the BBC, and it would be like a 30-minute lecture every week or something like that. This is the text. His writing style is very cool because he literally writes the way that he speaks. It's just written very conversationally, which I really appreciate. And I really cannot say it better than whatever's on the back of this. I'm just gonna read it. Edward Said Why are they barking so much? Edward Said sees the intellectual as an exile and amateur whose role it is to speak truth to power, even at the risk of ostracism or imprisonment. Oh, that's my book haul. Those are the things that I'm reading right now. Am I reading it quickly? No. Have I cracked in all of them? Yes. Just beside us. And finally, I think the biggest thing, one of the biggest moments of realization that I had in these past 2 weeks was that in order for me to feel invigorated in things that I study, things that I work on, things that I do, is that I really need to embody fully the role of a student. And being a student is the only way that I can be a better student, be a better teacher, be a better mentor, and just be a better person in general. As soon as I graduated, I felt this unspoken pressure to just know and have things figured out. That is definitely undue pressure, because no one's ever gonna ever have everything figured out, obviously. Being able to call myself a student and being able to call myself a lifelong learner, a lifelong student, that just brings a sense of humility, grace, and patience and flexibility to the table. It allows me to take it easier on myself and not necessarily have to come from this perspective of being an expert, or feeling like I need to pretend that I have everything figured out, or feeling like I need to pretend anything, really. I just get to fully embody my identity and my standing as someone who is learning, someone who is able to wield knowledge in a way that is constantly evolving and growing, put less of an emphasis on myself and more of an emphasis on the material before me and the things that are before me that I have yet to learn and consume and just eat up and interpret, and all of the good things that come with being a student. As I've been learning how to be a better mentor, and I'm literally learning how to be a better teacher because I'm doing my TEFL certification. I'm doing my certification for teaching English as a foreign language. As I'm taking this course and learning how to be a teacher, I'm learning how much power the student has in conducting how the teaching goes and how the classroom feels and how the learning environment is. And I have not been the best student by any means throughout my lifetime. I think finally understanding how valuable it is to give yourself the space to mess up, giving yourself the space to not know, to be confident in the fact that your mistake is not final, to just give yourself space to talk and discuss rather than be afraid of being judged. Because I was that person where if I was in a class where I felt uncomfortable, I wouldn't talk in section because I was worried about being judged by people. But in sections where I felt super comfortable, of course I would be super talkative and have fun and make friends with other people in my class, Moving forward, I want to be someone that can, as much as possible, as much as within my power, try to create an environment anywhere I go. Whether I'm in a classroom or not, I want to, as much as possible, exude a kind of energy and focus a kind of energy that allows mistakes to be made, that allows conversations to be had, allows a lot of not knowing, allows a lot of figuring out together. I don't know how I'm gonna do that, but I'm hoping just talking candidly about things that I love and care about and learn, whether it's through my writing or through these videos or in conversations with my friends. I'm hoping that I can get closer and closer to that, because I don't think that I am that now. Maybe I am in some places, and in some places I'm not sure, but I want to be that kind of person. I want to be the kind of person that just makes people feel comfy trying things out, testing out ideas. They feel comfy sharing half-baked ideas, half-baked thoughts. I just want people to feel chill with that, around me. Or I want to be in more spaces where that's welcome. Yeah, so that's my main thought right now. I think that's one of the things that's been inspiring my mind to roam so far, especially during the recovery period. I had this big reset in my approach to things. I was tired. I just felt exhausted. I think with that exhaustion came this feeling like I needed to let go of something and try something new, try out a new frame of mind, try out a new mindset. Letting go of my need to be seen or be perceived as having the answers is something that I am working through. And so I'm a student, I'm a lifelong student, I'm a lifelong learner. There will always be things that I don't know, and there will always be things that I am constantly learning. And I will approach all new things, all new ideas and concepts with humility, patience, open mind, open ears, and grace. Because I can do that. I'm an intelligent person. I am an empathetic person. I'm patient. I'm kind. So that's what I'm all about. Okay, this video is gonna be really long. I was just chatting. We're just chatting. We're just hanging out. So that's what's been on my mind lately. I am recovered. Recovery is over. And through that recovery, I have 4 less teeth. I have a vaccination. And I have a new outlook on life. And 6 new books. So I think that was a rather fruitful recovery period, right? Okay, I'm gonna go. I love you very much. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope I get my focus together and I'm able to like actually construct a video for next week. But if that's not the case, then we'll just hang out again, just like this. So if you like this video, please go ahead, like, comment on if anything resonates with you here, any new avenues of study that you're starting, any new books you've found, just anything that resonates with you, feel free to leave a comment or just say hi. I love talking to you. You know what that is. Like, subscribe, comment, bell notification, you know, all the good stuff. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Okay, I'm gonna go, but I love you very much and I hope to see you next week. You're my friend and you're very dear to me. Never forget it, okay? Okay, I love you. Like and subscribe, bye!